The voice of ACDC, Brian Johnson, was told one more show could destroy his hearing forever. He faced total deafness, but what he did next is the real story. Behind the thunder of sold-out stadiums is a story of incredible resilience, a journey from the working-class streets of post-war Newcastle to a private island mansion in Florida. We're not just talking about his $90 million net worth or his insane car collection. We're talking about the moment he faced utter despair, believing his career was over. This is the story of how Brian Johnson fought back from the brink. 1. From coal mines to rock stages. How does a boy from a working-class English town become the voice of a global rock institution for Brian Johnson? Born October 5th, 1947 in Dunstan, England. This unlikely journey was reality. He was the eldest of 4 siblings in a home, blending his English father's grit, a hardened sergeant major who served in World War II, with the warmth of his Italian mother. Growing up in the grim industrial landscape of Newcastle, his family even lived with his grandparents due to post-war housing shortages, an experience that forged his resilience. His first performances were not in smoky clubs, but in a local church choir. The real lightning bolt struck when he was 11 and saw Little Richard performing Tutti Frutti on television. Johnson later said this was the moment his dream of becoming a singer was born. After serving 2 years in the British Army's Territorial Army, he had the discipline and means to pursue his passion. 2. Replacing a legend. Making history. Imagine the immense pressure of being asked to audition for your favorite band after their iconic frontman, Bon Scott, tragically passed away. This was the monumental challenge facing Brian Johnson in 1980. Amid overwhelming fan skepticism, he took on a role many believed was destined for failure. Yet, just 3 months after he joined, the band released Back in Black. Dedicated to Scott's memory, the album sold over 50 million copies worldwide, becoming the second best-selling album of all time and cementing Johnson's place in rock royalty. Widely hailed as the biggest-selling hard rock album ever made, its anthems like You Shook Me All Night Long and Hell's Bells remain timeless. Johnson co-wrote with the Young Brothers for the next decade, and his contributions were immortalized with ACDC's 2003 induction into the Rock and Roll Hall of Fame. 3. Inside his private Florida lifestyle. When he steps off the stage, Brian Johnson retreats to a surprisingly relaxed and private life at his spectacular waterfront estate in Sarasota, Florida, with his wife, Brenda. The 8,000-square-foot property, located on a private island and valued at approximately $10 million, is a sanctuary, complete with a main house, guest house, pool, and private dock. It's incredible to picture the man who commands stadiums finding peace here, simply swimming and, as he puts it, plunging about. His description of himself as just one of the boys at home highlights his grounded nature. Tellingly, Johnson has avoided the typical rock star indulgences of private jets or luxury yachts. Preferring to invest his wealth in tangible assets, he can personally enjoy a practical approach reflecting his working-class roots. 4. The rocker's million-dollar car collection. Forget vintage guitars. Brian Johnson's most prized possessions have 4 wheels and a mighty roar. His passion for automobiles is legendary, with a garage holding approximately 15 classic vehicles. The jewel of his collection is a 1928 Bentley 4 1.2-liter Von den Plas, nicknamed Thunder Guts, which he incredibly drives as his daily runabout. His collection also boasts a Ferrari 458 Italia and a Rolls-Royce Phantom, which he has called the best car I've ever had. But what separates him from other collectors is that he is a legitimate and skilled racing driver, having competed in prestigious events like the Goodwood Revival and winning his class at the Rolex 24 at Daytona in 2003. This passion even led to his TV series, Cars That Rock with Brian Johnson, but it would also play a dark role in the most challenging period of his life. 5. his battle with career-ending hearing loss. In 2016, Brian Johnson faced the terrifying reality of losing his hearing. The crisis began 8 years earlier at a race at Watkins Glen International when he forgot to put in his earplugs. What started as tinnitus progressed into severe hearing loss after crystallized fluids in his sinuses began eating away at his ear. Doctors delivered a brutal diagnosis. He risked total deafness if he continued performing, a moment he called the darkest day of my professional life. Forced to step away from ACDC's tour, he fell into what he described as despair, a profound existential crisis. He raced with a frightening recklessness, admitting he didn't care anymore. But in a story of sheer will and medical miracles, treatments worked, and he made a remarkable recovery, triumphantly returning to record the album Power Up in 2018. 6. Breaking down his $90 million fortune. How does one accumulate a fortune estimated at a staggering $90 million as of 2025? The financial bedrock was the monumental success of Back in Black, which provides enormous, ongoing royalties from its 50 million copies sold. Beyond that, ACDC's tours are consistently among the world's highest grossing. Their 2015 Rock or Bust tour, for instance, generated approximately $220 million. Johnson's share of these profits, plus merchandise, constitutes a massive income stream. He also diversified his income with his TV series and his successful 2022 autobiography, The Lives of Brian. His wealth management reflects his practical mindset, with significant investments in his $10 million Sarasota estate and his multi-million-dollar car collection. 7. Beyond the stage a life of charity. When you have everything, what do you give back for Brian Johnson? The answer is personal. He has become a significant philanthropic force, especially for children's charities. In 2019, he and his wife Brenda donated a property that sold for $335,000 to the All-Star Children's Foundation, a nonprofit transforming foster care. His motivation was clear. There is no greater good than what they have achieved. He said of their work with children from homes of violence and neglect. His giving is also connected to his own struggles. He supports the Starkey Hearing Foundation, which provides hearing aids to those in need, a cause that resonates powerfully with his own battle. A music therapy room at Sarasota Children's Hospital was even named after him in recognition of his fundraising efforts. 8. The enduring legacy of Brian Johnson. Brian Johnson's legacy is monumental, defined by resilience and a voice that became synonymous with ACDC's sound for over 4 decades. His greatest contribution remains Back in Black, an album that not only saved the band, but became a cultural touchstone. Formally recognized by his 2003 induction into the Rock and Roll Hall of Fame and an honorary Doctor of Music degree from Northumbria University. His legacy transcends music. It is a story of authenticity. He never tried to imitate his predecessor, winning over fans with his own powerful energy. Perhaps his most inspiring legacy is his comeback story. His openness about his hearing loss and his fight back from despair serve as a powerful testament to the human spirit. From near deafness to a $90 million fortune, Brian Johnson's legacy isn't just about the music, it's about his unbreakable spirit. If you are inspired by his story, crush that like button, subscribe to Cudolorio, and tell me which rock legend you want to learn about next. Remember, applying just one insight from today's video on Brian Johnson's lifestyle could make a real difference.